It was supposed to be a surprise visit. 3 hours, a cracked windshield, and a playlist that made me feel like a daughter again. I saw his car before I saw the house, parked crooked along the fence line, mud streaked across the bumper, one headlight fogged like a cataract. I knew every dent, every imperfection. Daniel? I stepped out. The air smelled like wet earth and something sharp. Her front door was open. I moved slowly, the way you move when your gut already knows what your heart refuses to believe. Then I heard it, a voice, my mother's, low, wrecked, not crying exactly, but unspooling. You said you'd never tell her. Then a silence, then him. I had no choice. The sky didn't crack, the ground didn't open, but something inside me shifted, like a rib cracking inward, like bone forgetting how to be bone. I didn't go inside, not yet. I stepped backward, down from the porch and around the side of the house, stood beneath the kitchen window like I had when I was 13, listening to her argue with my father through cigarette smoke and glass. My mother wept like someone trying not to, and Daniel, his voice was soft, familiar, laced with cowardice pretending to be empathy. I didn't know how else to tell her. Tell me what? I didn't move, didn't speak, just watched the curtain flutter like a heartbeat. They didn't see me. They never saw me, not really, not for who I was, just for what I represented, the good daughter, the perfect partner, a mask that fit too well. But now I saw the cracks, in them, in myself. I left before they knew I'd come. No dramatic entrance, no confrontation, just quiet steps back to the car, hands shaking so slightly I could still drive. I didn't go home. I drove to the city, sat in my office until the sun rose, listened to his voicemails, 6 of them by morning. Just checking in, babe. Thought you were heading out there? I love you. Call me. I didn't call. I listened, again and again, to the tone, the breath between words, the silence where his guilt tried to crawl into hiding. Then I called a friend of mine, a tech consultant, asked if he could recover deleted texts from a backup I accidentally synced from Daniel's phone 2 weeks ago. He didn't ask why, just said, "Give me an hour." It took 40 minutes. When the files hit my inbox, I didn't open them right away. I stared at the folder, like a weapon I wasn't ready to lift. When I did, it didn't feel like pain. It felt like confirmation. Months of messages between Daniel and my mother. Some were vague, some weren't. Does she suspect? No. She trusts me. I hate lying to her. Then don't. I stopped reading. I didn't need to see more. 2 days passed before I returned to the countryside. My mother opened the door like she always did, eyes tired, hair pulled back. The quiet guilt of someone trying to pretend nothing had happened. "Sweetheart," she began. "I know," I said. She froze. I stepped inside. The silence was heavy, but I was heavier. I sat at the table, pulled out my phone, and slid it across to her. The messages, all of them, time-stamped, organized. Her hands trembled as she picked it up. When Daniel walked in from the back porch, frozen mid-step, mouth parting like a wound, I didn't flinch. "You told her?" he whispered to my mother, like I wasn't even there. She shook her head, tears brimming. "No," I said coldly, "you did. You just didn't know when." Daniel moved toward me. "Listen," I held up a hand. "I'm not here to argue, or cry, or scream. I came for the truth, and now I have it." I stood, calm, controlled, my voice the sound of ice cracking beneath weight. "I know about the affair. I know it started before the engagement. I know it didn't stop. They didn't speak. They couldn't. You chose her, my mother." Daniel shook his head like a reflex. "It wasn't like that. It never is. Until it is." I stepped toward him, slowly. "You looked me in the eye, slipped a ring on my finger, and promised forever, all while burying your shame between the bones of the woman who gave me life." I turned to her. "And you You watched me fall in love with him. You watched me build a future on rotting ground and said nothing." She opened her mouth, but no words came. "You didn't just betray me," I whispered. "You rewrote me, and expected I'd never read the draft?" I pulled the ring from my finger, laid it on the table, and left. The wind felt different when I stepped outside. Not colder, clearer, like it had been waiting. I didn't cry. I didn't turn back. In the end, it wasn't about rage. It was about release. They burned something sacred, thought I would crumble in the ashes. But I was never theirs to ruin. I was the silence that came after. The breath held too long, and the version of me that walked away was no longer breakable.